What's going on, guys? In today's video we're going to be installing a windshield washer reservoir as well as a pump which is built into the reservoir. We're going to put in some tubing and some spray nozzles. That way we can actually be able to clean off our window if needed. Alright guys, so I did get the windshield wipers to finally work. So they're all working properly. They've got both speed settings working properly. So now we just need some windshield washer fluid. So like I was saying, this reservoir has a pump built into it. You just have to hook up some wiring here, hook up the tubing that'll go to the nozzles, and then you'll have to figure out where you're gonna mount it with this bracket right here. All right, so this bracket I'm gonna have to modify to put it exactly where I want it because I want it to be clean, tucked away, and I don't want a bunch of tubing to be shown, so I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna mount it right now. I wanna be able to mount it right here. I think it'll be a really clean installation. You'll have very minimal tubing exposed. We're going to be using this rod right here, which is the battery tie down. If we do it correctly, we should still be able to use the tie down here with the washer fluid mounted right up against it. We're just going to have to modify this a little bit. So we're going to drill a hole through the top and the bottom there. And then in the middle, there's a little plastic that we have to drill a hole through as well. But we're going to slide that down over the threaded rod. We should be able to clamp all that down nice and tight and make it a nice clean install for this washer fluid. First things first, we're just going to drill a hole in the end here. All right, as you can see, we've got a hole going straight down through the center there. This is just going to slide right over top of this threaded rod. So that's perfect. We're gonna go ahead and clamp it down with some nuts. That way it doesn't move up or down. And then we should still be able to use that as a battery tie down. All right, so we've got that mounted in there. We're gonna go ahead and try to remove the old washer fluid nozzles, see if we can get those out. Like, this is going to be very fun to take out. So apparently we've got to use some grips or something to grab that piece of metal that looks like it might be broken even. Okay, so I finally got that out of there. And the way we're doing it, I'm gonna show you here on the passenger side. Okay, so basically we're going in from the back side here and grabbing the bottom part of that nozzle. And then you're gonna go up from the top and use this 9/16 wrench just to unthread the thing. Okay, we're gonna continue here with some of the unboxing. So you get this momentary switch, which obviously just when it's pressed, it'll actuate the pump. You get your two nozzles here, all of the mounting hardware to install all of that. It also comes with gaskets for the base of the nozzles. Comes with a wiring harness, and even a mounting bracket to mount the switch if you want to use that. All right, basically the gasket will go on there first. You'll put it through the hood and then thread this on the bottom side just to sandwich it down. All right, so if you're like me and you've got the inner bracing of the hood that is blocking your way to getting this in here, as you can see by the look of the hole there, I have taken a step bit and made it just a little bit bigger. That way I can get a socket in there. The inside of the socket, I drilled it out just enough to be able to get the tubing in there. Obviously, if you just go ahead and attach the nozzle to the hood and then try to get the tubing on there without being able to access it because of the inner bracing of the hood, you're not gonna be able to get this over there very easily. It's gonna be near impossible. So pretty much we have the tubing running through the socket. You go ahead and get your nut up there. You're gonna feed this through the bottom part of the hood, through the top. I'll shut this hood so you guys can get a better view. So now you come up here and you can make sure you get a really, really good connection here at the nozzle. Now you're gonna take the socket, pull the tubing back, and then now you can tighten on the nozzle, no problem. Okay, so I've got both of the nozzles all hooked up. Now I've got to connect these two with a little T that they give you in the kit. Also, while I'm here, I wanted to show you that I always use a rubber grommet if there's any kind of sharp edge here, because these hoses are very, very easy to kink or cut or split or whatever. So make sure that you protect that line with some kind of grommet there. This is what I'm talking about. It's like a firewall grommet, sheet metal grommet. Very, very useful. Okay, so here is the T that I'm talking about here. We're just gonna go ahead and install that. We've got the T right there going down to the pump. We went ahead and put the harness in here, and then obviously we're gonna have to wire up these wires. The way I'm gonna try to wire it up here is put the red wire to one of the terminals here, and then the other terminal will go to a power source. It's gonna be accessory, obviously, when the truck is on. And then for the black wire, we're gonna find a nice spot with some bare metal and just make sure it has a good ground. Okay, the knob for the wipers is right over here, so we're gonna keep the button relatively close. So this is probably a good spot for it. So what we're gonna do is go to the ignition switch. The ignition switch is kind of difficult to take out at times, so I'm gonna show you how to do that. Essentially, we just want a wire long enough to go from the button, which will be right here, if you can see that, and then it'll go to the back of the ignition switch. Let's go ahead and pull this thing out, that way you guys know what I'm talking about. Basically, you're gonna need your keys. So you're gonna stick the key in the ignition, turn it to accessory, get something like a paper clip, and there's a little hole in the ignition switch. You depress the little tab inside the hole and then give it a good turn. There you go. And just pull the ignition switch out. You don't want to push that really far into there because then you can't turn the ignition switch. So you want to just barely put it in there and then just kind of turn it as you're pulling out the paper clip. There's a spring-loaded cover on mine, so you just push in and twist, and then you can pull the whole ignition switch out. The little threaded terminal there is going to be for your accessory. We're just going to need a ring terminal on the end of the wire, and then we're going to attach that. All right, so I've got the wire running through there, running through this wire harness, and then coming out to this side. We're going to go ahead and make the connection to the red here at the pump, and then the red wire that is now running to the switch for this. Black wire is going to the negative terminal of the battery. The red wire is going through the harness into the truck, and this thing is ready to test. Let's see if we can at least get a noise from the pump here. So there's the button. We're gonna go ahead and click it over to accessory, and we should hear a pump noise once we press this. Sweet. Now we're going to very cleanly pour in some fluid here. Okay, let's see what happens. Whoa. That does not taste good at all. Literally shot off the glass into my mouth. So we're gonna see if we can aim these things around a little bit. Ew, man. If I'm being completely honest, I will probably be switching to a different type of sprayer, just simply because this one you can't aim around. It's pretty much, you know, you can try to shim it or something, but I don't want it to look tacky or anything. So I'm gonna go and find like a rocker type style where you can actually aim it, because it's high enough to where it's working, but I want it to work right. So I probably will get some different nozzles, but as far as everything else goes, the pump works fine, the reservoir works fine, all the tubing is perfectly fine. And especially for the price, you definitely can't beat it. Obviously nozzles are pretty cheap, so we can find those anywhere. But the rest of the kit will be just perfectly fine for whatever application. As far as the truck goes for right now, I'm trying to do all the title work and everything, that way I can actually drive it. Due to all this lockdown stuff, I haven't been able to actually get this titled. Also, thank you to the seller who is making this an absolute nightmare. He's being very difficult and I can't get anything out of him, and he's making this experience pretty bad. I did get a new welder, and there's plenty of work that needs to be done on this and the Nova. If you liked this video, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. There'll be several other videos and tons of updates on this and my Nova. Make sure you check out the channel and subscribe. But for today, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you later.